Hi, everybody. Here we are. It's Victoria here for tea time. I hope you are well and enjoying the beginning of this September, this new school year. I've had a couple questions from folks that are teaching in the city. So they are asking the question, what does nature education look like in the city? So that's what we're gonna tap into a little bit of that today and do a little bit of troubleshooting. So this idea of when we're troubleshooting and talking about these questions, it gives you a little bit of a flavor of what our membership is like, called the Circle, at where all of us are together and where we might be troubleshooting one problem or another. So this sort of gives you a flavor of that. But I want to first talk a little bit about just teaching in the city. And oftentimes educators will think, and parents, so this is even if you're an educator and you want to help parents reconnect their children to nature in the city, how to do that. So it's kind of a bit twofold. Um, so thinking about the when kids are disconnected from nature, oftentimes a lot of the research is showing that the disconnection is causing obesity, is causing attention deficit disorders, their self-esteem is low, and oftentimes the lack of nature is in lower income areas. So there's a huge deficit and effort to kind of equalize this. But I want to kind of shift the mindset and also reframe the view of the outdoors in the city. So one might think, oh, well, there's no nature here, so we can't necessarily do nature-based education or anything of the sort because it's all buildings and sidewalks and cement and so on and so forth. But today we're going to give you a few pointers in terms of how to really look at that a little bit differently. So with all of these, I'm going to share that all of this is building up really a toolbox of resources. And again, we have a fabulous, the ultimate nature-based toolbox, which is in one of our programs where you can access so much of all of these resources. So, but a lot of it is figuring out that you could just pull out different activities, even when you are in the city. So, so the first challenge is that people will run up against is there's a lack of accessibility. Again, green spaces and all of that. There's it's just not there. So, so one of the solutions can really be really looking at that space between home and school, and that we have ready to use activities that both teachers and parents can pull from. So what might these activities be? It might be that kids are tallying the how many numbers of trees they see on their walk. It could be a walk from home to school, it can be a walk around the neighborhood, but they can tally how many trees they see versus how many cars they see. So you see how that can really shift the mindset in terms of working with your environment that you have. There's also you can use a variety of different apps. So still birds will be in your city. It may not be as robust as you might see in a environment such as with more trees and whatnot, but there's still going to be different types of birds. So it might be fun to add an app or something there's one here called the Bird Song Hero, and it really helps children learn the different bird songs, and it's kind of a game, and that can be also found at the Cornell Lab of Ornithology. um, so really inviting kids to use things like stopwatches and cameras, and to really stop and take pictures of if there is a tree, maybe they take a picture of it and they compare the trees. A compass. Um, so maybe looking at what they can search for so on their walks. So things will be a little bit different. So there might be squirrels. There might be a variety of different leaves. but there might be pigeons. So really thinking about how that shifts in your city environment. So looking at the challenges and thinking about your solutions. And the next one is oftentimes we're just, our mindset is, well, there's just no nature here. I can't really take the kids out, or we have to go far away, or we have to go to a different park or something. So that might be, that's what is going on in your head. So therefore you want to get into the solution, which is to be prepared. So being prepared is taking the negative self-talk out of your vocabulary, which is I'm not an environmental educator. We're in the city. We don't have any nature. And to change that and shift it into really making science concepts, STEM concepts really approachable. And the best way to do that is on the Curriculum on the Go kit. And we talk a lot about that in our outdoor teaching boot camp and how important that is, and really talking about that phase and of getting outdoors and transitioning that phase into the third phase, which is teaching and learning outdoors. So the third one is, again, the challenge of time and space. So time is of the essence because educators have a lot to get done during the day, and thinking of, oh, I have to take my kids outside, and how can I do that? I just don't have the time to transition them out. I don't have time to figure out how to get them outside and have a great lesson. So again, really using nature as an element to work with you. So for wind can be incorporated into your curriculum. I always also am inspired by nature-based children's books. So really using that as a vehicle to catapult yourself into the next phase, or your lesson, or what you're doing. So there's actually lots of fun books out there that are connected to nature in the city. So really thinking about what nature-based books can you add to that. And then really the space can be a small little grass, it does not have to be, and then also really trying to find ways to change your space. And that's another thing we talk about in both the boot camp and the us in the circle, our membership, is really talking about how can we transform these spaces in the city into true blue, wonderful outdoor classrooms. And it's actually amazing what some of our members have come up with. It's truly remarkable. What's fun is then people post pictures, the before and after pictures, and it sort of blows your mind of you would never think that, wow, this is truly such a small space in the city, and all of what the children are learning from it. So it's really, really fun to do that. And then I think as you get acclimated to these spaces that become very wonderful and treasured among both you and the children, it becomes a great example. So when we have these wonderful examples where we have outdoor classroom tour and talks. So that's when folks really feel comfortable that they're ready to showcase their outdoor classroom with the rest of the community. And what we learn from that is immeasurable. It's really fun and exciting. So really, talking to other teachers and really finding out what is it that, how are they dealing with the lack of time, and what is the time management techniques that they're using. So that's just been fantastic. So again, the fourth and final one is the challenge being that there's just constantly competing priorities. And oftentimes that teachers have this pressure and this need to connect everything to the curriculum and assessments and all of this. I do find that the silver lining with the pandemic has been that there's a lot more focus on social emotional development, and that children really allowing them to play and being able to just be with other children and so forth. So so you know keeping that in mind as the play as your common denominator. With parents, it's a wonderful way to connect being outdoors. It's just choosing a physical activity. So today we talk about really rethinking what's possible. There's so many we could go. We're just literally scratching the surface, but what today I really wanted to zoom in on is just how you can reframe the view of the outdoors, especially when you're in the city. And how can you do that? And so we do a lot of this discussions and talks, so much in our outdoor teaching boot camp, and then also in our the circle, the membership community. So where we can chat and talk and troubleshoot. And so I hope you can join us. We're going to be having some special great things opening up in October. So please join us and continue to join us for our tea time. And we'll talk soon. Bye.